New Frontier in Moorhead, Joshua and Jared Ravenscraft are exploring just that, a new frontier in the fashion industry.
You know, we wanted to start cleaning up the fashion industry
By creating a line of sustainable jeans made from recycled denim, or circular, meaning they are more environmentally friendly.
99% of clothing that's out there today is not recycled, and then, you know, the stat of, you know, every second there's a garbage truck full of clothing being put into landfills.
New Frontier is the first U.S. company to launch a line like this. It's 2 years in the making. Governor Andy Beshear saying it is innovative ideas like this that put Eastern Kentucky on the map. In turn, it can lead to growth for the region, including industry and jobs.
We are doing things in this state that the world, or at least the country, has never seen before, and that's exactly what New Frontier is doing with this launch.
The optimism for job growth comes the same day the state released unemployment data for 2022. Rates decreased in 102 counties, increased in 12, and stayed the same for 6. Data from the Kentucky Center for Statistics shows rates were the highest in Eastern Kentucky. Magoffin, Elliott, Breathitt, and Martin among the highest. Beshear admits there is work to do, but says progress, like at New Frontier, is making waves.
With everything Eastern Kentucky did to build and power this country, we've got to make sure that we are just as focused on rebuilding, on diversifying, on bringing great jobs. That's something that this small business is doing, but that's something we're working real hard as a state on doing every day.
In Moorhead, Chad Hedrick, WKY.